Good morning, Bitcoin. Today is Friday, August 11th, 2017. My name is Thomas Hunt, and here's what's happening today in Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin was up 3.5% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 35.33, a high of 35.33, and a low of 34.03. The price of Bcash was up as well, with an average price of 335 and a high of 340 on Kraken, with a low of 331 on HIT BTC. Wall Street fears Nvidia is too dependent on Bitcoin. After sending the Nvidia stock price up 54% this year, the price fell in 8% in after-hours trading, as there's fears of a cryptocurrency bust, which could affect the graphics maker. Bitcoin is steady in the face of World War III, despite absolutely terrifying news from the outside world given the conflict between President Trump and North Korea. The price of Bitcoin has done nothing but go up, as US stocks and UK stocks are afraid of the current climate. Bitcoin continues to survive. HBO asks hackers for a deadline extension as it scrambles to acquire Bitcoin. HBO has been hacked, and the hackers are requesting $250,000 in Bitcoin for the information that they have about the Game of Thrones series. The ransom deadline has been extended as the network attempts to establish Bitcoin. The hackers did warn that they didn't want any funny stuff, and they wanted their Bitcoin immediately. As it says here, do the Bitcoin job quick. Some banks in USA have problems in exchanging Bitcoin and caused trouble in the past. We don't accept sentences like, we want to pay, but banks are lazy and don't cooperate. It's your problem. Give some bucks like they do slaves. Interesting comments from the hackers. We also had a story about Bitcoin topping $3,500, yet another all-time high, with many predicting a rise to $5,000 a coin soon. We're also joined by Jimmy Song for a quick check of Bitcoin scaling. Today's Tones Magic Day, August 11. What will happen, Jimmy? Go.
Hey guys, yeah, so today is Tone's Magic Day, and I am really curious to see what will happen. But as far as Bitcoin Cash goes, they're still staying steady at about 12.5%. The hash rate, they did go up a little bit, so it's a little bit more profitable to mine on Bitcoin Cash, but it's still way more profitable to mine on Bitcoin instead. So that seems to be what the market is saying. Obviously, the price ratio is 3,500 for Bitcoin, 330, 340 for Bitcoin Cash. So there was a bump, and this sort of volatility is normal for any currency that's this young. I mean, let's not forget it's only like 11 days old, right? There's still a lot of exchanges that have yet to release and stuff. I am finding that a lot of people, a lot more people than I expected are actually accumulating Bitcoin Cash, which I didn't expect, and using some of their Bitcoin to do it, presumably. Yeah, I technically there hasn't been that much news that I saw yesterday, but yeah, obviously there's Bitcoin continues to be a very big asset that's being talked about in the mainstream, which is interesting. I did publish an article about the 0.15 Matt Corallo's pull request to sort of like separate the networks a little bit once, so that SegWit2x and Bitcoin Core are sort of their own networks. And this is mostly so that, once, if there is a split with SegWit2x, if there is a hard fork, that all of the nodes that are SegWit2x stay with SegWit2x nodes, and all the nodes that are with Bitcoin Core stay with Bitcoin Core nodes. And it's more a safety issue. I have talked about this on this network, and that article is more an explanation that hopefully that you can just sort of read and look up.
There's nothing good about a civil war. And now, if everyone could give us a thumbs up and a share, that would help more people find the show. If it's your first time here, please subscribe down below. As we mentioned before, Tone has been predicting August 11th as a major day in Bitcoin history. Tone Vase, what's going on this important day?
Oh man, so we'll actually have to let the day play out. Look, I'm just happy that we're at an all-time high of 3,500. Yesterday, in fact, I saw that it was more than 50% more profitable to mine Bitcoin over Bcash. So that's why I was very optimistic that Bcash is going to go down. It's now back to only 32% more profitable to mine Bitcoin. So that is still okay. Via BTC, the biggest culprit that started this mess, they're clearly not even interested in mining Bcash. So if people are accumulating it, like Jimmy says, and I have heard rumors, and they're just rumors, that Roger is very big on Bcash and he plans to support it, which I'm okay with. It doesn't really matter to me at all. I don't expect much from the whole Bcash. I didn't know about the Game of Thrones hack. That is actually very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. And let's see where that goes. I mentioned the Trump versus North Korea Twitter beef on my YouTube channel yesterday, and I don't really care much for that. I don't think that's the biggest driver of the price. But let's get to the charts, okay? Let's get to the charts and what today means. So the week is only 2 days away from ending. So I don't see anything all that bad so far on the horizon. If this candle closes the way it is right now, I am still expecting 5 more weeks of upside. Now, that upside could only be $500, or that upside could be, $5,000. We really don't know. It's really hard to predict where the top is going to be when you are at an all-time high. The highest I will go is this green line that I have, which is the trend line from 2012. I had totally given up on it, but now it's actually within reach. But it's rising fast. It'll be at $12,000 by end of the month, I would say. So we're probably not going to reach it, but right now anything's possible. Bitcoin is all over the news. The hype cycle is strong. We're seeing complete nonsense have enormous valuations. So no, as long as that remains, Bitcoin is not in a bubble. The Nvidia thing is very, very interesting in that it's mostly Ethereum that is supporting it. And while if it actually was Bitcoin, I would probably not agree with the article, but because it's Ethereum, and yes, Ethereum can go bust any minute, in my opinion, that could hurt Nvidia profits. But people that are mining with graphics cards, I mean, they're addicted. They'll mine other shit. So I think Nvidia is in very good shape. And the media always tries to, depress Bitcoin, never really talks about much of its positive. Okay, so let's look at the daily chart. This is where it gets really interesting because as I'm using this indicator more and more to try and gauge my trading, this was my line as of yesterday. We were trading right at this line, and I was saying this is your line to separate a 9 from a break of the pattern. Now, in a way, breaking of the pattern and closing below this line would not have been a bad thing because it can set up a whole new 9 count to the upside. Now that this is a 9, this is a potential sell. And the reason I say potential sell is that we still have about, what do we got here? About 12 hours to go or something like that before we know how this day ends. Now, if today ends on a sell-off, that is definitely a time to take some profit and enjoy the bull run that you've had if you've been listening to the right analysts. If this ends at the all-time high at the end of the day, there's absolutely no reason to sell, and you wait till till the next day. It's just as an example, if I look at similar events, like here's an example of a 9 that took place on a big up candle right here. It happened to be a 9 and a 13, which is a very significant sell signal. Because this candle closed at the top of the day, there was no reason to sell or take profit. But the next day, it all kind of started to fall apart. But if you were patient, you could have caught a nice rise. If today's 9 candle is similar to this candle, and we start to trade up a lot tomorrow, that could be a reasonable time to take your profit and make some money. Here is another example of a 9 where the 8 was the big up day and the 9 was a big down day. So this is where you don't risk it. You take the profit as early as you can once this day starts to sell off. And as you can see, it didn't last long. And then we had a nice little bear market for a little while, okay? So this is definitely a day to keep an eye on. The next 24 hours are going to be very critical for how the Bitcoin price is going to move over the rest of the month, okay? I'll go ahead and leave it there, and back to you, Thomas.
All right, thanks, Tone, for that report. And very poetic. The price is high, and much nonsense has high evaluations. It reminded me of Yeats. What was it? Oh, damn, I forgot. It's like the best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of a passionate intensity. And we're out of time for today, but we'll be back in just a few hours with the Bitcoin Group at 1 o'clock on the West Coast, right here on the World Crypto Network. You can subscribe down below. And if you'd like to send us a donation, we've got a QR code. We accept Bitcoin, we accept Super Chat, and we accept thumbs up. So give us a thumbs up on this video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.